you can dance.
Welcome to the Retail Reality Show.
I think he was the best dancer so far.
Oh yes, yeah, we will definitely highlight that in our video. It's like very nice. Also, this song has not been generated by AI, even though you might think it has.
It hasn't. It was actually, it's from a time where there was no AI actually.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it was actually a guy who's probably the famous movie trailers. That's the voice. You can hire him on. I think it was Fiverr.
Fiverr, yeah, it's like well.
Yeah, that was.
Anyways, friends of Fiverr. This episode is not sponsored by Fiverr. There's other platforms out there that do the same thing. We can do it. Yeah, we can do it. Maybe like Fiverr, if you hear this. Anyways, this is not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about stores, and stores are something that matters to most of the people in this room here, probably all of them. That's something that we grew up with. That's the idea of retail that we've learned, and that's why we're here. And in the end, at the same time, we're living, or we are in a form of revolution technologically. We're all talking about AI, but we don't really know what impact that has on the idea of stores, on the idea of how we run retail, on the idea of how we run brands, on the idea of, as a consumer, how we expect a brand or a retailer to interact with us. So today we have quite a cool panel sitting here. We're very happy and very lucky to have you join us. First of all, there is Anni Oppermann. Anni, you've been with DRYKORN for quite some time now. Well, quite some time.
Who's counting?
You are, obviously. Anyways, anyways.
I use that sometimes.
Do you?
My team loves it.
Okay, that was the cheesiest pun I've ever done on air, I guess. But
almost a dad joke.
Was it?
That was almost a dad joke.
Yeah,
Luckily, we can edit the whole thing, so that's good.
We have to cut it out.
All right.
Anyways.
So before you joined DRYKORN,
I had to bring this one more time.
Yeah, did you? Okay. You've been with Adidas before. You've actually also been the vice president of marketing in Central Europe at Hugo Boss. So basically, you've seen some of the most iconic, but also most, let's say, successful marketing machines in fashion from within. That's actually something that for us it's really cool to hear your voice on that, and especially your specific perspective on what DRYKORN is doing, because I think it's really valuable to the topic that we have at hand. But we also have a second guest, Nino.
Yes, we have another amazing guest. We have Robert here, and actually it's not 10 months, it's 1 month. And he said in the preparation we shouldn't mention that because he gets he blushes. But congratulations for your new job at LIGANOVA. So Robert, you are very new to LIGANOVA as the Chief Creative Officer. So I think it's the first one ever at LIGANOVA in this position, and you're joining LIGANOVA from an amazing other company. I'm always looking up to that company, Jung von Matt, where I think it's the epicenter of creativity. In your career, you worked for companies like Porsche and MHP Porsche, and we are really glad that you're here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So in the preparation, you mentioned digital is not enough. We need real spaces. So why is that?
I just made it up just to invite me. No, this is also a little bit of the reason why I came to LigaVision to LIGANOVA, because the idea was that a customer journey always follows like a simple recipe, and the recipe is pretty large. It starts with a moment, then digitally becomes a meme, and then it becomes memory to all of us. So it's like this curve of in real time, and then becomes reality, or it starts in reality and becomes real time, and at the end it's memory. So and whenever we buy something, it starts with a conversation. We don't buy anything without people don't talk about it, beside of like jellyfish or something. So this is why it's important to do, and this is a reason why the real space also needs digital, and we have to bring it together somehow.
Yeah, and that's exactly the topic for this session: emotional intelligence meets AI. Anni, I have a question. You are Chief Marketing Officer for a very well-known brand, DRYKORN, and I have a lot of products, and I still remember your slogan. It says it in my jacket, for beautiful people, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, DRYKORN for beautiful people. So beautiful.
Okay, Nicolas, can you also wear that?
I do actually have a lot of DRYKORN in my closet. So
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Okay, but what I know DRYKORN for is obviously high quality products. So I think there's a big focus on the product itself, the garments, the quality, how you present it in a store, and that has been it for a long time. But in our preparation, you said mono stores is a very important element of our strategy going forward. So and if you walk into a DRYKORN store, what is it? Because you also said people are not walking in the store because of tech, because there is fancy tech, because there are people. But what is it that consumers come for in a DRYKORN store?
First of all, there were many questions in one, but I love that. So I tried to embrace them all. First of all, I think that in a physical experience, it is everything that Robert talked about. It's about memories, because people always remember what they felt about something. They might forget what you talked about. They might forget about the content. They might even forget about the product they actually were, searching for, but they will never feel about or never forget about the feeling that you gave them. If you walk into a store, it's exactly what you need to be thinking about is the feeling that you present. And then, of course, convert it into the product that the people also fall in love with and buy and walk out of the store with. And that is the beauty about it. And it's easily said and hard to be done.
There's this feel-good factor, right? I think that sticked in my head when we prepared. And we will get to that in a second, how you create it in a later question.
Yeah.
I feel like if we... like your perspective is wonderful, because I think all of us, if I look into the audience, I see nodding heads, like we know how it feels to go into a store that makes us feel. So we know when we remember a retail experience, and we know why for some reasons. Might be a nice interaction with the person in there, might be the scent, might be the architecture, might be the product, could be anything, but we remember these moments. At the same time, Robert, you're more coming from, let's say, the advertising side of the game. So what really draws us into the store from your perspective? So as a consumer, like there is psychology involved. Like if you look at that, what's your perspective on it? What draws us in there?
It's usually our weaknesses, right? We wanna
Do we have
more
those?
beautiful when we are. I mean, I'm talking about me, not about you. It's like it's something we are longing for, and I think a store has to give us this feeling of community, like a house of community where I can understand. Maybe this house of community the store is capable to trigger like content creation, to share this what I feel there. And I think this is what we have to. These are emotions we have to convey, and the questions: how can we do this better with AI, Anni? No, sorry.
Did you ask a question to our guest?
Sorry.
I didn't know that he's the moderator, but I like
so
that.
We can. But Anni, you feel free to answer.
I believe in the essence of both, actually, to your question earlier, and about the technology and about the human touch. I believe that people always feel when there is dedication. And they also feel when there's a lack of dedication, whether that's a restaurant, whether that's a hotel. That's actually the reason why Apple stores are built after a hotel philosophy. And even, I guess, luxury stores the same way. That's why you have the doorman that opens the door. That's the whole thing is thought through. And I have the strong belief that people see that. And if it's not there, they see that too. And they might not return because of that lack of emotion. And, DRYKORN has that slogan, which I didn't change when I came, because I thought it's beautiful because it's so polarizing. And I actually like things that need a second thought. Our slogan is DRYKORN for beautiful people, which is quite a thing when you think about the fact that beauty is so hard discussed at the moment for good and bad reasons. So to keep that and turn that into something positive, memorable, is really something that you have to also bring into the point of sale, at the sales, floor, and into that moment that I just tried to describe.
Yeah. And like just adding to that, I think the one thing that you're like, if we look at Apple stores, one thing they have an abundance of is people usually. So once you walk into an Apple store, there's somebody who greets luxury all the retailers can afford these days. But I think when we're talking about brand communication, obviously there is a connection to people. You would agree, wouldn't you, Anni?
I would definitely agree. And DRYKORN is not a global player like Adidas or Hugo Boss or Apple, but we actually take the dedication to think about how many staff is on the floor and how we do actually incentivize those people. Literally, it's hard to get good people into a store, surrounding and make them work there. There is so many jobs at the moment that are maybe more lucrative or more sexy.
Content creator, influencer.
Maybe. God knows that I don't want my daughter to turn out like that, but maybe she is, and then I'm going to support her. But yeah, jokes aside, that's true. There is many opportunities these days, and who wants to stand in a store on a Saturday, which is the most frequent days, most of the times of the week and a retail week. So how do you basically encourage people to do that with a smile on their face, which is sincere and not fake?
Yeah. The question is just, if I summarize it a little bit, so we talked a lot about the emotional part, about the feeling, feel-good manager. You just mentioned experience manager. What we didn't discuss so far is the second part of our topic, emotional intelligence meets AI. What's the role of AI in this?
I think if you think about AI, it has two functions and it has one big side effect. I mean, the two functions we know about AI, if it comes to driving sales in the customer journey, is like hyper-personalization, right? We can do campaigning for you and me, and the key visual will look different. And if it's good, made in a well-done way, then we can relate to this even better when it's like just for everyone. So this is good. Also, the other good thing from operations level is like AI helps us to create even more content on a cheaper basis and to localize this in a better way. But it also has this amazing side effect, which we already feel, that it doesn't feel authentic, or even though we can see the hallucination, we see that the zipper isn't right, we see something that the car isn't correct. And this creates a problem, because over 60% of millennials right now can differentiate if it's genuine or if it's real. And it creates a global distrust in what visuals are, what reality is in the digital world. So it's like a synthetic media catfishing. And the store has to mitigate this. The store has a new function. It's not only about like a feeling. It's not only about like the creating community or driving creativity or trigger creativity to stores. It needs to mitigate this and has to show that there's something realness while trust erodes in the brand. And this is what we have to create into the stores. And it doesn't mean that there's no AI allowed in the stores, but they have to think about it to put a point in that what I've seen on ChatGPT, what I've created in Gemini, what I've seen in media has to become real at the end. And the end point, the moment of truth is always at the store.
Mm-hmm. I have an hypothesis. Maybe I share it, and then you can maybe confirm or tell me.
I will confirm.
It's rubbish.
Let's see.
You will confirm.
You're right.
Okay,
You're totally right.
Let's hear about it.
How do you know?
Are
what
you
I want to
AI,
say?
Robert?
Are you real?
Great point. Great point. I will adapt
is
my
this a video
prediction.
part? Oh my God.
I mean, if you who uses AI every day in the audience? Okay, almost
That's everyone for
everyone.
our listeners.
So everybody has access to, let's say, endless creativity, because the big models are trained in the world knowledge. So basically, everybody has access to perfection. All right, and everything, and it's multimodality. So it's not text, it's voice, it's video, nano banana. So you can create beautiful images, but they're all beautifully average, I would say. Mm-hmm. My hypothesis would be, are people now looking in the future for human imperfection, which they probably find in a store? ?
Oh, I like your question. to be perfectly imperfect is, I think, such a beautiful thing that comes to mind when I listen to your question. And it triggers the following. I think AI is first and foremost today very good in recognizing patterns. So it is an enabler and it analyzes the hell out of everything. And if you use it for, like, say, in a store, replenishment, assortment planning, even the smartest and most relevant merchandising, then it really makes sense, and therefore it is very process driven and has so many more advantages. But again, there is not even the answer to where the limit is, because we all don't know. Because today, actually, human beings are still doing the quality assurance. But what if AI really does that for AI and humans not anymore? Question mark, exclamation mark, mic drop.
So I'll give you. Actually, I'll emphasize your point. I recently sat in a cafe, and I did that. Yes, Robert. And I'm coming to my point. And
Gig
they
economy
actually,
worker, Nicolas.
it was a cafe like frequented by university students, so young crowd, 22, 23, 24, and they were actually hosting physical dating events. So they were doing sort of like physical Tinder. People should come there, and then there was drinks included, and there was like kind of speed dating event, something that all of us always dreaded. So if we turned 30 without being married, we were sent to a speed dating event. That somehow becomes a thing now. And the question, I think, is, and if we look into the future, do we think that the store is actually the escape from a reality that otherwise is like, it's hyper-personalized, it's super tailored to us. Every screen is talking to us and saying, hey, Nicolas, you didn't buy with us in a week. Can I give you a discount? Yeah. So it triggers our basic emotions. It triggers our basic psychology. Is that what we are going forward, or what we can look forward to? Is that the store is an escape room for us? Escape room is a wrong word, but still. Is it? What do you think, Anni?
I think escapism is a big thing at the moment. If you realize and you really read surveys and look at the data, Gen Z and even millennials and probably Gen X are the most loneliest generations out there at the moment. So that's why scamming is a big thing. It's actually a multi-billion, dollar business. It's pretty scary. And so what I know as a mom and as a manager and as a human being is that I like to be alone, but I have a lot of friends, a lot of people around me that don't like it. So a store or even going into a city is a bit of like this connectivity that they actually are searching for, because yes, they are busy, but busy doesn't mean you're necessarily happy and have that kind of quality human exchange. Yeah. And so, yes, people are in love with AI. And there's a substitute to real relationships, because an AI can answer at 3 o'clock in the morning to your most devastating problems you might have, and you wake up and you cannot sleep. You might not want to call your best friend. We can always, chat. It's a more complex thing that I cannot answer yet.
I can just, and now I have to re-emphasize the re-emphasizement probably. So today at EuroShop, very interesting, I saw a case study, and then I remembered I was in Augsburg very recently, and that case was at EuroShop today. So there were pink shopping carts. It was at Edeka, I think, or Rewe, Edeka or Rewe. And I was there with my daughters, and I thought, why don't they have pink shopping carts? And I was just carrying it, and my daughters were laughing, and my wife. And then the reason why they have pink and black cards, so there was a big sign, I didn't pay attention. If you're lonely, if you're single, you can pick the pink one, and that means you're open for a conversation. And that's like, I thought, sure, yeah, that's one of those elements and reasons in the future. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically Tinder 2.0 or 3.0, yeah, because you walk in a store, you're single, for sure, I pick this one, and I'm open for a conversation.
It's like the journal at Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I play the devil's advocate?
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's what you're here for, aren't you?
So I think that's, you're totally right, and there's this way of analogism, right, and there's this nostalgia. Another thing which totally plays in your card is like, maybe you've heard of like the mailing clubs, like which is like the fastest growing touch point right now, where people pay other people to send them like super created, nice love letters to get to. It's a subscription for love I don't get anymore. But on the other side, I can also like system prompt my Claude or my Gemini to also be like a very loving appreciation person to me. I think coming back to the retail, I think we shouldn't put retail just in the nostalgia zone. I think retail also has like a role in the future. It has to answer the question what a product can be. It has to answer like the vastness of like the realities we can create in the digital to bring it down to what I can shop, and think about that. If you turn every like try-on booth into a virtual try-on booth, and I don't have to go out and go in to say, oh my God, I became too fat again. I need an L and not an M, and I can change it immediately in the mirror. So I think there's so much element of like how we have to develop the store itself, because honestly we talk about these amazing stores, but maybe I go on the wrong ones, or I'm a different tax bracket than you. The most stores I see are pretty fucking boring, and we have to like put creativity in it first to make them interesting, that someone goes for even at all, because otherwise I'm just fine buying at Zalando.
I love that, because I think it's also, we're coming to a close soon, but this is something that puts all of us here together. I mean, why are you guys here? It's not like, of course, there's a glass of wine to have, but in the end, every one of you can afford that on your own. So you're here to find connection. You're here to talk to our peers. That's something that matters to us. We are not just talking to AI. We want to talk to other humans. So like connecting all of this, we see that there's a future. We see that technology would help. Probably it's also going to be different from vertical to vertical. Like food shopping will be different from clothes shopping. But in the end, I think retail is something that at least in our society has a form of impact on the definition of ourselves. Who are we? Why do we go to a certain store? Why do we interact with these people? So there's so much that we can actually connect to that I really love that this statement does not end with everything's going to be automated. We're just going to talk to robots tomorrow. But with that,
I think that was a nice segue, talking to robots, into, let's say, our outlook and our famous last question to both of you that I would like you to answer. So if you talk to a fashion retail CEO, what would be the one tip that you can put on top of his priority list?
Buy into good consultancy from your first line that not just talks after your mouth, but really talks reality, but also have this enabler and digital assistant that also helps you with the efficiency and the data part and the research part. And use both.
And the digital assistant would be, let's say, the ChatGPT.
Could be an AI agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
use both is the advice.
The good balance between the consultative guy and the AI platform. Robert?
The thing we always tell ourselves every morning, just be brave, try things out. And I think invest in AI, invest in trying new things. And the more you do this, also like mitigate the risk and hedge them against, also invest into physical visibility and connect them, and then you're golden.
Great. With that, I want to thank both of you for the open conversation.
Thank you so much.
And I think there was a love letter to emotional intelligence and the physical retail store. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.